This is You've Already Been Hacked, recorded on 18 July 2025. Welcome back to You've Already Been Hacked. This week we have 5 stories for you, and one of them just made the tsunami of bad get even worse. With me, as always, is the Cyber Cowboy. Cowboy, how are you this evening, sir?
Hello, everybody. You might notice my stupid avatar is sitting still because I'm having webcam technical difficulties, but all appropriate for a cyber show.
Yeah, we hope he hasn't been hacked, right? Like even his virtual self, I don't want to see it start eroding here while we're on camera. All right, let's get right into it. Our top story: Cisco has released an ISE vulnerability, which is a level 10 or maximum severity. Cisco has disclosed this critical vulnerability in their Identity Service Engine and Passive Identity Connector, the ISE PIC, allowing unauthenticated remote attackers to execute arbitrary code as root. For those that don't know what that is, on the Windows side of the world, root is your administrative level. It's your super user admin. It's the kernel-based level user. The flaw stems from insufficient input validation in a specific API and requires no credentials to exploit. The vulnerability mirrors a similar issue patched last month and raises alarms across enterprise environments. This is something, as many people know, Cisco is a infrastructure brand. It is not necessarily a consumer brand, although they have some of it. So this is pure infrastructure chaos waiting to happen. The fact that this exploit requires no escalation of privilege, it requires no authentication, is crazy to me, and it could lead to full system compromises and lateral movement with, dare I say, minimal effort on the adversary. This is not just a bug, it is a blueprint for root-level compromise. If you run Cisco ISE, this is not an optional patch. If you're just hearing about it on this podcast, I'm sorry to say, you're already late. Take your network down, tell your bosses, do the update. It is that level. It is that urgent. Cowboy, thoughts?
You know, when I went through offensive cyber training, one of our class sayings was "keep calm and get root." And I mean, this is
you don't even need to keep calm. This is just get root. That's all this is.
Just enter root. I mean, this is the golden BB, the epitome of like ease to get in and have the keys to the kingdom right off the bat. Yeah, not just take your network down and call your boss, like going to work. Like Saturday, 3 a.m., get your butt into work and fix this.
I know. Look, we record this on Fridays, and I generally get to be able to post it up on Saturday. I wish I could have a little bit faster production, and maybe we'll get there, but that's it. So if you're hearing this podcast on Saturday or Sunday, this happened this past week. You are late if you have not patched your network. You are now, like, I would patch your network. I would call in like your incident response team, because this is horrific. This is like nightmare level, like, you know, scenarios. I have no, it's apocalyptic is what it is.
Yeah, if you haven't done it by now, you need to have a verbal dress down of your DCO team, defensive cyber ops team. You need a verbal dress down of your cyber intel team if you have one. Like, yeah, everybody needs a butt chewing.
Everybody, including yourself, if you're the one responsible for the patch and making that decision. Now, take a breath. Yes, you didn't know about it. Yes, there's no way you could have until Cisco disclosed it. That's great. Now that you know, you're late, you're behind. You have to issue this. This is not a we'll get around to it sort of scenario if you're running ISE hardware.
Number the priority, period up.
This is, you know how everything is a priority? You know how they say that, Cowboy? This is the priority now. Like, and if your bosses say, well, we can't afford to have the network go down because that will cost us money, you can tell them they might as well just sell the company. That's how bad this exploit is. Like, everything is compromisable. Like, this is why zero trust infrastructure is designed now at scale, because nothing in your network is trustworthy at this point. If you have this vulnerability, nothing.
If that's their answer, honestly, start looking for another job. Why would you want to work for a company like that? I'd be like, Cool. I'm out. Deuces. Good luck. Good luck with everything.
Good luck. Yes. Oh my God. Let's see. But while we're dealing with an apocalypse in networking hardware, in our next story, three Chinese state-sponsored threat groups, UNK Fist Bump, UNK Drop Pitch, and UNK Sparky Carp, love the names, have launched spear phishing campaigns against Taiwan's semiconductor industry. Targets include chip designers, manufacturers, and financial analysts. Payloads include Cobalt Strike and custom backdoors dubbed Voldemort. I used to actually call someone that I shall never mention their name because they are Voldemort to me. I used to call them Voldemort. The campaigns ran from March to June of 2025 and reflect strategic espionage efforts. Again, critical infrastructure being attacked. The targets were economic and technologically sovereign. Custom malware being employed. I'm going to say state-sponsored actions. That's my 2 cents. Cowboy.
100%. This is why you see countries like the United States and others trying to bring chip manufacturing and other things into the country to help with the supply chain risk and to help stop these things. But this is insanity. The cyber world continues to be the Wild West where you do anything you want with little to no consequence, and it's crazy. And so Proofpoint even calls it the malware that must not be named.
Yes,
The Voldemort backdoor.
Yes, the Voldemort backdoor. Voldemort is not just a backdoor. It's
Yes.
a wand for data exfiltration. It is magical.
Yes.
In the bad way.
And Proofpoint actually attributed it to APT 41 Brass Typhoon.
Brass Typhoon. Okay, good. That's
Yep.
good to know. Yep. So I think we need to start treating this. And I know there are plenty of us out there that think this way, but this is again comes back to it is not your actor level or your decision maker level, maybe not your C-suite level, but the level below that. It's not those people that I'm concerned with in my next thought here. This is a hot take, possibly for C-suite and political level, which is we need to start treating supply chain security like it's national defense. We talk that good game. We talk about how if we identify you breaking into our networks, that's an act of war. Well, if they're going after the chip sector, which is what all of your beautiful little things are based on, then nothing you have is reliable. It's all compromised. That means state secrets compromised. That means anything you think is on a classified network anywhere compromised. Sometimes I just want to throw my hands up and go, I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's tough. That's for sure. I mean, how are you going to hold people in another country accountable? You're almost never going to. But to put the scale of this incident into perspective, they were looking at 20,000 messages impacting 70 organizations globally, a few hundred messages a day, and spiked on 17 August 2024 to nearly 6,000 messages. So they're hitting everyone. They're using some traditional TTPs, right? Like Google Sheets, like I lost it. The 7 zip files, right? We saw those come around in like the mid 2000s when everyone started blocking zip files, so they went to 7 zip files to get around the defenses. Traditional stuff that we still see, but what is with traditional Chinese APTs is they don't care if you know they're doing it. A lot of them like to be kind of loud and proud almost, and so they just go all out. Why? Because somebody's going to click the damn message. Someone's going to click the link, and that's all they need is one person. One person.
The loud and proud part is of interest, not in a bad way, but like that's what the U.S. Cyber Command is supposed to be, right? It's not that they want people to know they did it, but they do, because that's a form of national power.
Deterrence.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
deterrent, right? I can do this. Well, China's been saying that not in any subtle way for well over a decade, maybe 2 decades at this point. Like, let's start waking up to it. And maybe, and again, at the actor level, I think we're fully awake to it. It's not the actor level that I'm most concerned with. It's the senior decision political level that I don't think this registers where it needs to. That's my take.
I agree. Escalation is a shaky term, right? But
Yeah.
at what point do you say enough is enough?
Probably when your wallet hurts to the point that you actually start noticing it. That would be my guess. But that's
Yeah.
that we've hit that topic type before. It's not all bad news though. Our next story, Europol has disrupted the no-name 057 hacktivist group. So Europol coordinated a multinational takedown of no-name 057, parent 16 hacktivist group, a pro-Russian hacktivist group responsible for DDoS attacks in Ukraine and its allies. The operation was called Eastwood, and it dismantled over 100 systems, arrested 2 individuals, and issued warrants for 6 Russian nationals. The group had been active in targeting critical infrastructure and government websites.
Hey, I got to jump in here
Please.
as a cyber cowboy. Operation Eastwood, love it.
It's good. Yes,
my
it's good.
my cowboy hat off to whoever came up with that. Thank you. Clint would be proud.
Clint would be proud. So here's the good, right? So hit you over the head with like, what are we doing? But Europol did a good thing. This shows that international cooperation in cybercrime enforcement is possible and does work. It disrupted a major DDoS infrastructure network, and it sends a message to state-aligned hacktivists that we are out there and watching, and we will do something. The when and for what, I think, is where we're a little more gray-spaced, but we will do it. And it demonstrates that law enforcement does reach across borders. This is all net positive as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, law enforcement across borders. I don't know if the average person understands just how truly difficult and complicated that is. Most professional, I'll say, or good cyber actors go through countries that with multiple hot points uh, that don't share information with Interpol or other things, and because usually that's a brick wall, right? And so this is a huge win,
Yeah.
and great work everybody involved with this.
Absolutely.
This is tough.
We need more of this all of the time. The problem with that is there's so much that you could go after. You could get lost in the noise of going after things. So my cyber heart says, give me more, but my mind says I understand the deliberate nature of what's happening to a degree.
Yeah, it's hard enough to prioritize, vulnerability fixes and patches, right? Can you imagine being involved in prioritizing like what of the hundreds of thousands of cyber crimes are going on globally that we go after? That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, resources being limited is a thing, right? That's a reality. So it's just something. Again, everything's a priority, and someone has to decide what the priority is. So again, I'm not anti decision maker. The job is not easy. I get it, but we need more better gooder of this type of stuff happening at scale, not just Europol. We need this at scale across all levels. To really start to I wouldn't say to make a difference. I would say just to stay above water, to stay treading. We need more of this at all levels.
Yes. Life preservers.
Yeah, for everybody. Okay. I love GitHub. Cowboy knows that in our digital SOC here, I run my own lab. I right now I'm on the verge of self-hosting 250 different projects because Professor doesn't trust the internet anymore, if you couldn't tell. So GitHub and me are BFFs. However, GitHub has been used to host the Amadei malware campaign. Threat actors are leveraging public GitHub repositories to host this malware and distribute it via the Emmental, I may have said that wrong, loader. EMMENHTAL loader. So if your projects are using that, be aware. This is malware as a service, and as a campaign to bypass web filtering and targets Ukrainian entities. Payloads are downloaded from fake GitHub accounts, making detection and takedown more difficult. So this right here is GitHub being the awesome good thing of open source software and projects and self-hosting and all that sort of stuff. This is the showing abuse of a legitimate platform for nefarious activity. The evasion tactics of anybody can sign up for a GitHub account because it's free and anonymous and no one knows your dog on the internet. 100% in full force right here. What we know is that it's targeting high-risk geopolitical zones, but that doesn't mean that that's where it's going to stay. It's out in the wild. So if you download a project that's using that potential loader, you could infect your area too. And this is just blurring the lines between good old-fashioned open source and threat delivery. So, Professor Sad.
Hey, yes, for those that haven't figured it out, if you've been listening to our podcast, the professor's brilliant, and I am about at knee to thigh level on his genius. But
that is so not true, but thank you.
Amade is actually also a botnet. It's been around since 2018. It's sold for about $500 on Russian-speaking hacker forums. So not crazy, but again, as we talk about malware as a service, right? We talk about these things sitting on legitimate platforms like GitHub, which is probably used by like 95% of the cyber community.
Yeah.
Probably more, but try to be a little conservative.
I think Reddit might be the only place that the cyber community may use more than GitHub. Honestly,
that's right. Yes. So Reddit, prepare yourself. Right. Yeah. I've said it before. Right. Like open source, it's good. Trust but verify.
Always. Don't run scripts. Don't run scripts that you cannot see on your systems, right? And if you do, just you have to do that with an open eye to you are accepting a level of risk. I don't run any GitHub scripts on any of my primary boxes directly. If I do run a GitHub script on something, it most likely will be in a Linux container or a virtual machine first. Just to keep things isolated. And there are some really great scripts out there, and I will be getting into some of that on in the classroom, TBD in the future, TM. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, very sad that this is happening. Like Cowboy said, this has been around since the malware itself has been around since 2018. The fact that it's now using the open source community as a delivery mechanism is just really disheartening, and I hope we can kind of clean that up. But also on delivering mechanisms, our last story, and this is something the Cowboy brought up to me, dare I say, a couple weeks ago. BADBOX 2.0 has been pre-installed on Android Internet of Things devices. There is a new variant of the BADBOX malware family, and it's called BADBOX 2.0, and it has been found on pre-installed on over 1 million Android-based Internet of Things devices across 222 countries. I didn't know there were that many countries on Earth. Maybe I lost count. It's embedded in firmware. The malware is highly persistent and difficult to remove, and it enables remote access data exfiltration and botnet formation. So why does this matter? Well, this is malware that's being installed at the factory level. So either the factory that is producing these most likely white-labeled, low-cost Android IoT devices is either complicit in doing this, is doing it themselves, or has no idea it's happening. Across global IoT systems, yeah, Cowboy just sent me, like, I think that something may have happened here. There's 194 5 countries on Earth. So maybe they're also including principalities and stuff like that are like not necessarily formalized countries in the math, or aliens. Yeah, we could just throw that in there, or cyber hacks. Like, we can redraw lines as we wish. You can see that in the background. Um, it's either the comp is complicit, don't know, or don't care that they have been hacked for this to be happening at a base level, at the factory level. If it's in that many countries, let's just go more than 190. I think that's the safest way to say that with logic now. That means just about everywhere. So fun. And then this could enable long-term surveillance or C2 in any given network that these devices are plugged into. Again, supply chain being a problem. Yay. Cowboy?
It's probably why my webcam's not working, right? Thanks, Logitech. Call
That
out to
very
you
much could
guys,
be.
right? Yeah, and if it's at the firmware level, like I can't fix it. Pretty much, right? Depending, I would say 7 times out of 10, I cannot fix a firmware level compromise on something I've bought because it's probably locked down to the point I don't have access to. So yeah, these companies need to be. Cowboy's opinion. We need to hold these companies liable for allowing firmware level compromise to come out of your factory. Like the problem's already bad enough. We don't
Absolutely.
need you helping get it together.
Yeah.
There should
Again, this is most likely coming out of, and I don't have it in front of me. So again, this is postulation on the professor's part. There's a lot of P's for you, everybody. There's your enunciation for the evening. Probably out of uh India, China, those type of places that have factories that mass produce low end uh commodity based IoT type things for cheap that are sold on pick your favorite cheap end website du jour. I'm not going to promote any of them here, right? One's an orange brand, one's a black brand. I think you guys know where I'm thinking. So this stuff is just getting out there and people buy it because it is cheap and it gives basically the feature sets that they want, and they're willing to pay the $30 for it or 20 or less. But they may not know they're actively just totally, got garbage now on their network. I'll say this. Here's an example. I was able to come across a relatively cheap, quote unquote, 4K projector. I don't know if it's actually 4K. The projector retails for $70. I got it at a discount place for $8. It's got Android on it. I may actually use that projector, but it will not be connected to my network. It will only be connected through HDMI.
you're not going to connect your 3500K $8 projector to your network?
No, definitely not going to do that. um, because of reasons like this. This is exactly why. So projector may be excellent, may have a good picture quality. It might have everything I need for out of it, and for $8 is totally worth it, right? But Professor's not going to put that on my network live. I'm going to just use it as a dumb projector, because that's the only smart thing to do. To do anything else is just, it's just playing quote unquote Russian roulette with my network, and I'm just not willing to do that.
I like that. Russian APTs.
It
Russian APT
all comes
roulette.
back together. It's all intertwined, right?
That's right.
One more thing before we close out here, Cowboy. Announcement, everybody. Hopefully within a week, maybe 2, and if it's not within the next 2 weeks, it'll be next month, because we'll be heading to DEF CON, which is always fun. We will have our new Discord channel be live. It is called the Neural Network, and we are going to invite every listener to join us there. You'll be able to get in touch with the Cowboy and the Professor here directly. We're going to have a bunch of channels for people to have focused conversations. We may even have some voice channels set up for actual tabletop type discussions. So look forward to that, and we'll end up having that in a post here, going out on the socials when it's all ready to launch.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for DEF CON. I mean, all the cyber geeks coming together for good, for bad, for in the middle, right? For neutral, but black, white, gray hackers coming together, trying to make the world a better place for everyone, and hopefully charge more positive cyber stories.
Yeah.
They're far and few between, folks. We're doing our best. We want to be positive, but it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, definitely we'll have a show based on our impressions of DEF CON when we get back, for sure. That'll definitely be a focus for that week. Cowboy, anything else for us this evening?
Yes. So I'm going to go with 2 punchlines to end the day because they're both great. So when chips go dark, so does your defense. Cybersecurity starts at the foundry. And also, silicon might be small, but the geopolitical fallout sure isn't. Protect the brains behind the bytes. I'm Cyber Cowboy. Stay frosty, friends.
And I'm the Professor of Cyber Risk. That's all the news for this week, and we'll talk again soon. If you like this podcast, share it with your colleagues and friends. Your support is how we are able to continue to make this content. Thank you.